I think we should just get right to it so we don't waste too much time, as we know that our special guests have very limited time due to other schedules. So can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Awesome. So thank you, everyone, distinguished guests. Greetings to you all. I'm particularly excited to be here today, and I thank everyone who has taken time to join us. We're here gathered for the Mohammed Sanusi II SDG Challenge Showcase 2023. Let me give a bit of a background. His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II, in partnership with 1 Million Teachers, launched the annual MSII SDG Challenge 2 years ago with the aim to catalyze and assist teachers in developing innovative community projects focusing on SDG 4, that's quality education, and SDG 5, gender equality across sub-Saharan Africa. The challenge is more than an incubator, it's an accelerator. It is an ecosystem catalyst by providing expertise, resources, and support for teachers at various stages of their leadership journey. The challenge nurtures a grassroots movement of teacher change makers. Now, over the past 2 years, and from what we have seen, we can confidently say that our African teachers are definitely thinking. They are innovative, they are tenacious, and their passion is unquantifiable. 25 projects in the second cohort have gone through an intensive 8-month incubation program, and it's quite heartwarming to see how these projects owners have grown tremendously over these past months. And now today, we'll be unveiling 10 projects that will be moving on to the accelerator phase and be eligible for the $10,000 grants each. Permit me to acknowledge a special guest here, His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II, 14th Emir of Kano, and UN SDG advocate. He's a convener and is the initiator of the MSII SDG Challenge. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for being here with us today. Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, who is the Vice Chairman of the MSII SDG initiative, we appreciate you. Thank you for always showing up and creating time to be with us today as well. We also have here Dr. Andrew Nevin, who is also one of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Hakim Suber. We appreciate all your guidance over the years, and we couldn't have been here without your support. So without further adu, I also see Shari is here.
And Bola Adishala, I think.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Bola Adishala is also here. Thank you so much, ma'am. And Shari Houston, thank you so much for being here. We're so delighted that we have a full house. So without further ado, let me not waste too much of our time. I'll be passing on the baton to our host for today. And she's no other person than Seun Koshoedo. Seun is an exceptional brand and marketing communications professional. And over the years, she has implemented sustainable and strategic marketing communication initiatives across various industries, including financial, technology, investment, food and agro-allied, hospital, and the list goes on and on. And it's interesting to know that she's also the pioneer convener of the Girls in Tech program, organized yearly by Africa, Agility, and the Lagos State government. And this program also, empowers 100 girls biannually to build a future in technology. So no better person than Seun to be, anchoring this. Thank you, Seun. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Shivami, for the introduction. I'm super honored to be the host of the MSII SDG Challenge Showcase. So I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining from. So if you just got in, you have not missed much. It's the MSII SDG Challenge Showcase for the second cohort. So we have a packed lineup of activities for you. Thank you for taking your time to be here. We do not take it for granted, and we promise that is going to be worth every while. Before we get right into it, we have some housekeeping rules. You're going to be stuck with me for 120 minutes. I want to ensure that you are in your most comfortable state and get the most from today's session. So if you need anything from me, just write it down in the chat box. I will work with the team to get it to you in no time. It's amazing the things that technology can do these days. So we want to create a close and expressive community. So if you feel the need to express your thoughts or anything we discuss here, you see the chat box right there on your screen and drop it. And as the summit progresses, we engage all the delegates to post your questions in the Q&A box after each question. Please keep your questions short and clear and direct it to the person you want to respond to your question. And while the show or the event progresses, if you face any sort of challenges, please notify us by messaging over the chat window. So we're going to have a lot of engagement in the chat window. Now it's time to get started and dive right into the pack of activities that we have for you today. So we have a video, and this video summarizes the MS2 SDG goals, impact, and strategic intent. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy.
Education is proven to be invaluable in the development of human civilization. It is the key that unlocks a society's full potential and to securing its future. The future of every society lies in its children, which makes it imperative to invest in the education of our children. Sadly, in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa, progress in education has been largely suboptimal. And with an estimated 20 million Nigerian children out of school, there is an urgent need to develop effective, innovative, and sustainable solutions for Africa's educational system. And in 2020, spurred by a lifelong passion to implement the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II SDG Challenge was launched. The MS2 SDG Challenge is in partnership with 1 million teachers and focuses on SDGs 4 and 5, with the goal to empower highly competent and innovative teachers who will help provide the needed educational improvement across different communities. The program structure involves scaling deep and scaling wide. We believe that as a continent, Africa has everything it needs to transform its educational system from within. And with the SDG Challenge, teachers get to become true catalysts of change and greatly improve our educational sector. Through the first cohort, we successfully incubated a group of qualified teachers from across 2 sub-Saharan countries into the challenge. The teachers have created individual educational projects which will collectively benefit thousands of children across sub-Saharan Africa. To implement their projects effectively, our teachers went through well-coordinated intensive virtual training sessions, specifically on design thinking, systems thinking, stakeholder engagement, project management, budgeting, financial management, and other critical skills. Through our Cohort program and open e-learning platform created, we have impacted over 2,000 teachers. The first cohort of 10 teachers were provided with an initial grant of $500 and with a follow-up funding of up to $10,000 for each teacher. Our teachers were also given access to relevant materials and general training sessions. We also collaborated with them to develop feasible strategies on how to execute their innovative projects. So far, our projects have yielded impressive results. Within the past 2 years, the first cohort of teachers have collectively impacted nearly 30,000 students. Through their noticeable efforts, our teachers have also secured partnerships with other bodies, including state agencies, non-governmental organizations, and other private entities. After receiving 1,700 applications for our second cohort in July 2022, 25 teachers across 8 African countries emerged as winners. Our next set of change makers in Africa. Each teacher has access to an initial grant of $2,000 for their project and will be eligible for follow-up grant of up to $10,000. Ultimately, all teachers accepted into the SDG Challenge program are granted access to the 1 Million Teachers platform, where they have access to high-quality educational resources to teachers, amplifying their efforts in carrying out their projects. we believe that even greater milestone will be reached in the second cohort in impacting the lives of young girls and children across the region. The MS2 SDG Challenge is only the beginning of a series of impactful and transformational programs aimed at improving our educational sector and closing the gender gap. With the right people, the right tools, diligence and consistency, slowly but surely, we can and we will secure the future of our girls, our children, our nation, and ultimately our continent.
The house is a little bit quiet. Hold on, just need to be sure. Yes, I am live. So the house is a little bit quiet and we need to spice things up a little bit. How are you feeling? Write it in the chat box. The chat box is open. Now back to the video. If there is anything I have learned, it is what people can do and how they can fly and how unstoppable they can be when they have the right resources and platforms to make things happen. Ladies and gentlemen, up next, we will be inviting His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II for his welcome address. And before we bring Your Highness to the center stage, I would like to do a short introduction of Your Highness. His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II is Khalifa of Tijaniya in Nigeria and the 14th Emir of Kano. Prior to ascending the throne, His Highness was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. He was also at a time the Chief Risk Officer and Group CEO of First Bank of Nigeria PLC. He was awarded Central Bank Governor of the Year in 2011 due to his laudable anti-corruption campaign, which salvaged and reformed the crumbling financial sector. His Highness Sanusi II started his career as a lecturer of economics at the Ahmadu Bello University, but began his banking career in 1985 at Icon Ltd. Merchant Bankers, a subsidiary of Morgan Guarantee Trust and Baring Brothers, and then joined United Bank for Africa, running its credit and risk management division, and then rising to the position of general manager. His Highness Sanusi II is passionate about the welfare of the girl child, quality education, women empowerment, economic growth, and good governance. He was appointed by the UN Secretary General as one of the 17 SDG advocates in 2019 and has been focused on advancing the global goals with a focus on SDG 4, 5, and 8, quality education, gender equality, decent work, and economic growth. He also serves as the chairman advisory board of 1 Million Teachers, a Canada-based social enterprise that provides access to higher quality teacher education to underserved communities around the world. In the year 2021, His Highness launched the MS2 SDG Challenge, which is aimed at building a critical mass of highly competent and enterprising education changemakers, providing the needed improvements in learning outcomes in their community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Your Highness to the floor. Your Highness, we will appreciate if you could please turn on your video and unmute your mic. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And let me begin by thanking everyone who has taken time to join us today, despite tight schedules. We do apologize for having postponed this event by a week. That was due to some postponement in Nigerian elections, which made last Saturday rather inconvenient to hold this event. I would like to specifically welcome members of the Board of Trustees, including the Vice Chair, Dr. Masur Mukhtar. We have apologies from Herbert Wigwe, the Chairman, I recognize Bola Deshala, Andrew Nevin, Hakim Subair, Halima Wali among the trustees, and I believe we have Dr. Jane Chin and Ms. Sherry Hewson among the advisory board already on this forum. I would also like to begin by expressing my condolences on behalf of the entire team to Mrs. Halima Wali, who lost her husband recently. We pray that God grant him eternal rest and grant her and the children and family the fortitude to bear the loss. So having welcomed all of you, and I would acknowledge each and every one of you as a special guest, I would like to make a few remarks, beginning with some background on education in Africa and the disparities and the role that teachers play. Africa's youth population represents about 1 billion people. This is almost 25% of the world's total population. With the population growth rate as it is today, by 2100, Africa's youth will be equivalent to twice Europe's entire population, and almost 1/2 of the world's youth will be from Africa. The pertinent question is, what quality of youth are we churning out? What skills do they possess? What opportunities are available for them? Access to quality primary and secondary education is at the heart of SDG 4 and is captured in SDG target 4.1, which commits governments to ensuring that all girls and boys complete free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education. There's a need to commit to ensure improved completion rates at all levels. This is critically important since sub-Saharan Africa has the largest out-of-school population globally. It also has the highest out-of-school rate, estimated at 1 in 5 primary school age children, 1 in 3 for lower secondary school age adolescents, and 1 in 2 of upper school age youth. Narrowing it down to Nigeria, even though primary education is officially free and compulsory, about 10.5 million of the country's children aged 5 to 14 years are not in school. Only 61% of the 6 to 11-year-olds regularly attend primary school, and only 35.6% of children aged 3 to 5 receive early childhood education. In the north of the country, the picture is even bleaker, with a net attendance rate of 53%. It has been estimated that achieving universal primary and secondary education by 2030 would require recruiting around 17 million teachers in sub-Saharan Africa. A growing body of research shows that teacher quality is a major determinant of children's learning and well-being. Improving this necessitates a multi-pronged approach with education workforce policy at its core. However, the most effective policies are those that also consider the elements of recruitment, training, motivation, follow-up and support, and succeed in aligning with curricula, teaching materials, and assessment policies. So what is my vision for education in sub-Saharan Africa? My vision is one of a future where all children, especially girls, have access to high quality education. My dream is to help develop Africa's future leaders and to ensure that every child has the opportunity to reach his or her potential. To address SDG 4, inclusive, equitable, high quality education, and SDG 5, gender equality, through advancing economic empowerment for women and girls. We would like to empower thousands of teachers to bring to life their own vision for the future of education in Africa. teachers are a powerful force. Each teacher will directly impact a minimum of 3,000 students in their career, and many more students indirectly. There cannot be quality education if the teachers do not have the right competence to impact students positively. Only by empowering teachers can we implement solutions that truly transform our educational system. This is therefore the background to the HHS MS2 SDG challenge. My lifetime commitment and advocacy to access to quality education and gender equality is well known. In the central bank, I championed the promotion of women in the banking industry. We declared 2012 the year of women in banking. And the work we started in 2012 has resulted today in our having no less than 8 female CEOs in Nigerian banks. As Emir, I continue to push through legislation that would improve women's rights, that would protect the girl child, that would ensure that the girl child has education up to secondary school level at least. I'm chair of the advisory board of 1 Million Teachers, and we have stepped up efforts with a decision to establish this challenge, which is a call to action for teachers, particularly female teachers across Africa, working together with 1 Million Teachers and other partners such as Queen's University in Canada, to create a grassroots movement of empowered teacher change makers, people who are in the front line of education and gender equity is our objective. We founded this challenge on the belief that Africa has everything it needs to be able to transform its education system from within, and that empowering teachers is the fastest way to improve our education systems. What has been the impact so far? The number of teachers reached so far, pre-incubator, incubator, and accelerator, is nearly 2,000. The number of children we have impacted so far is over 30,000. The grants we have given so far are up to $250,000 US by the end of this event. At the UNGA, United Nations General Assembly 2022, the MS2 SDG challenge was given the honor through the kind assistance of our Vice Chairman, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, and our sister, the Deputy Secretary General, Amina Mohammed. We are given the honor of hosting a session on transforming education through grassroots innovation, a localized teacher-led approach at the Transforming Educational Summit. We added our voice and submitted the outcome of the summit to the United Nations. We also provided a global platform opportunity because one of the Cohort 1 project owners was availed the opportunity to speak at this summit at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Now, the journey so far for this second cohort. Applications opened in June last year, and we received over 1,700 applications. After a series of painstaking reviews, 25 projects were selected to join this cohort, and we all gathered here on the 23rd of July, 2022 to welcome the cohort members. 8 African countries were represented: Nigeria, Ghana, Zambia, Gambia, Malawi, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, with 52% goal-focused projects and 60% projects from Nigeria. All 25 project owners have gone through a rigorous and detailed incubation process over the past 8 months. And it is reassuring to see how they have grown over this period. An initial grant of $2,000 each has been disbursed. I would like to congratulate all the projects that participated And all those that will be moving to the accelerator stage and will be eligible for the $10,000 grant, which will be announced later on during the event. The categories are, as usual, foundational skills, novel curricula, and complex populations. I would like to acknowledge and appreciate the Board of Trustees, the Advisory Board present and not present, and the key donors. The Board of Trustees include Dr. Herbert Wigwe, excuse me, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, Mrs. Bola Adishola, Dr. Andrew Nevin, Mr. Hakim Subair, and Ms. Halima Wadi. And the advisory board has Dr. Jane Chin and Ms. Sherry Hudson, who have been extremely helpful from the beginning of this process. I would also like to thank the SDG team, which does all the work. Seth Warren, the CEO, Olashubomi Shofowara, the Director of Engagement, Ike Oyewale, Program Designer, and Rizma Bhatt, the Operations Advisor, as well as all other members of their team. We'd like to thank key donors. Access Bank has already paid $500,000. We've received money from First Bank. We have so far received donations of approximately $800,000, our target being $2 million. We urge all other organizations who have committed and who pledged 2 years ago to contribute their quota to the advancement of our mission. And we thank those who have and those who have committed to do so. I would like to thank those who organized this event today. I would like to thank you for making the time to attend. I wish us successful deliberations and look forward to successful completion of this cohort the way we completed the first one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for that powerful message. I am inspired by your vision, and I'm not out of line when I say that we all are. And if there's anything that I got from Your Highness's message, it is how much of a force teachers are and how empowering teachers can be a catalyst to transforming the educational system. Looking forward to the interesting things that the MS2 SDG Challenge will be bringing to drive educational transformation in rural communities. Now, before we move to the next thing on the agenda, I see that the chat box is getting exciting. Okay, so just going through the chat box for a bit. Okay, I see Ms. Shari Hickson saying, I'll start, I feel inspired. Right, thank you, Ms. Shari Hickson. I see Tunji Raf saying he feels excited. Eric says he feels so humble by the amazing impact of these educational leaders. I feel the same way too as well, Eric. Okay, so Andrew S. Nevin says, okay, Andrew, that's noted. Then I see a question in the question and answer. Okay, thank you for the great work you're doing. The chat box is, oh, okay, I'm sure the technical team is working on that. But in the meantime, kindly engage using the question and answer session. Okay, so we're moving right, we're moving fast, and we're moving forward. Allow me and forgive me. I had initially said that you're stuck with me for 120 minutes. Allow me correct that. You're stuck with me for just 90 minutes. But don't worry, you're in safe hands and you're in good hands. But before I invite the Vice Chairman for his welcome remarks, I would like to recognize the pillars of this, of the MS2 SDG Challenge. Starting with the Board of Trustees, we have Dr. Herbert Wigwe, FCA, is also the Chairman, the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank PLC. We also have Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, who is also the Vice Chairman. He's the Vice President of Islamic Development Bank. We also have Mrs. Bola Adishola. She is the Chairman, EcoBank. We have Mr. Hakim Subair, is the Chief Executive Officer 1 million teachers. Ms. Halima Wali she is the Chief Learning Officer, 1 million teachers. And finally, on the Board of Trustees, Dr. Andrew S. Nevin, the Partner and Chief Economist at PwC. Now, recognizing the advisors, we have Ms. Shari Hugson, she's the entrepreneur in residence, Smith School of Business, Queen's University, and Dr. Jane Chin from the Faculty of Education, Queen's University. Then moving on to the management, we have Seth Warren, the Chief Executive Officer of the MSII SDG Challenge, and we have Ms. Olashubomi Shoforua, the Director of Engagement, the MSII SDG Challenge. Thank you so much for putting all of this together and making it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the Vice Chairman, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar, for his speech. But before I ask him to take the floor, I just want to introduce Dr. Mansour Mukhtar to everybody. Dr. Mansour Mukhtar is the Vice President, the Islamic Development Bank. Dr. Mansour Mukhtar's career spans decades in international development, public service, and academia. He is currently Vice President Operations at the Islamic Development Bank, Jeddah. And prior to joining the ISDB, he served as Executive Director on the board of the World Bank, having earlier worked as a staff member in the World Bank headquarters for nearly a decade. During his tenure as Executive Director at the World Bank, he was appointed to serve as co-chairman of the United Nations Intergovernmental Committee of Experts on Sustainable Development Finance. Dr. Mansour has also served as Executive Director, African Development Bank. Thank you so much, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar. I would like to invite you to the floor and for your welcome remarks.
Sharon, I think you should not forget that Dr. Mansour Mukhtar was the first DG of the Debt Management Office, and he was also Minister of Finance in Nigeria.
Oh, noted. Thank you. Thank you, Your Highness.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II. Distinguished participants, I'm delighted to participate in today's event. I'm truly honored to be given the opportunity to deliver these opening remarks. As always, I begin by recognizing and conveying appreciation to His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II, the 14th Emir of Kano, for the foresight in setting up this noble initiative, and pinned by an inspiring vision which he just shared with us again, and with the overall objective of supporting the provision of inclusive, high quality and gender responsive education to students through empowerment of teachers in sub-Saharan Africa. My colleagues on the Board of Trustees and I are excited to be part of this important initiative. To appreciate the significance of this initiative, we need to situate it in the context of the deepening global crisis currently facing the education sector, a multifaceted and interlinked crisis of equity and inclusion, a crisis of quality and relevance, and a crisis that is most intense in sub-Saharan Africa, as illustrated by His Highness with very detailed and graphic, and if not sobering, statistics in his welcome remarks. Recognizing this, the UN convened a Transforming Education Summit in New York last September to elevate education to the top of the global political agenda and to mobilize action, solidarity, and solutions towards addressing the crisis to ensure that we're back on track in achieving SDG 4. A few of us were opportune to attend this summit, led by His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II, as he indicated. And this was a learning opportunity, I must say. It was also an opportunity for His Highness to share insights, to share perspectives and experience on the topic, as well as, importantly, add his loud voice to the global advocacy for change. Distinguished participants, one key takeaway for me, and I'm sure for many of my colleagues from the summit, was an appreciation that teachers are the backbone of all good education systems. The summit, this led to the acknowledgement at the summit, very strong and clear acknowledgement that transforming education systems must begin with teachers. And in line with this, it also resulted in a strong endorsement by the summit of the need to support and empower teachers so they could become agents of change, so they could become an important, if not the most important constituency of the global movement for averting crisis and transforming education. And this is indeed what the MS2 SDG initiative is all about. It is about supporting teachers to become valued agents of change. It is about nurturing a grassroots movement of teacher change makers who will be at the forefront of driving change. It is also about mobilizing and advocating for universal and quality education. And it is about supporting an education system that is accessible and inclusive, one that centers on the needs of girls, refugees, and other vulnerable and marginalized groups. The MS2 SDG initiative is recording progress and registering impact in this direction, thanks to the inspirational leadership and indefatigable efforts of His Highness. Yet, it is only the beginning of a long and arduous journey, and there will continue to be challenges ahead and obstacles. But what is important is that we are on the right track. We are on the right track thanks to the commitment, dedication, and facilitation support from the partners, 1 million teachers, and the Secretariat and other donors. Thank you, Hakeem, Seth Warren. Thank you, Subomi. Thanks also to my colleagues on the DOT for the modest contribution. We appreciate your collective efforts. We are on the right track. We are making and will continue to make progress. Above all, I have to say it is thanks to the contribution of teachers participating in this program. Teachers from different gender and geographic backgrounds, working on different subjects, but teachers united by a shared sense of purpose, a dedication and commitment to be change agents in helping transform education for the better. Teachers imbued with passion, energy, enthusiasm, and the entrepreneurial spirit to be innovative, to be creative, and to make a difference. You're all deeply appreciated. Distinguished participants, today's event provides an opportunity to learn about the progress and achievements being recorded under the MS2 SDG initiative, highlighting the contributions being made by the various cohorts. And now hand over to Sheun to take us through this. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar. If there's anything that I have picked from your conversation, your remarks, and Your Highness's welcome address, is the need to transform educational systems by first empowering teachers. So we have to begin with teachers and we have to support teachers. Thank you so much again, Dr. Mansour Mukhtar. So fast, before I move on to the next thing on the agenda, I'm really loving the energy of everybody in attendance today. Moving into the question and answer session, I see somebody, Emmanuel is saying, wow, nice program. Ijo Madini says, so good to be here. Ijo Madini from Ekiti, welcome. Emmanuel says, is there any certificate after this webinar? Of course, at the end of this webinar, we will definitely drop an email in the chat box, and all of your questions and inquiries can be directed to that email. Ololade says, I feel so nervous though. This is a safe community, Ololade. There's no need to feel nervous. Anyway, he says, thank you. Thanks to His Royal Highness and the team. Richard says, what an amazing welcome address from His Highness. I agree. Charmed from Gambia, I want to know whether my project is selected for Incubator Award. Again, we will drop the email address in the chat box so that all of your questions can be directed to that email address. Also with the question of 1 million teachers. So moving right into the program, moving to the next thing on the agenda, I would like to invite the CEO of the MS2 SDG Challenge, Seth Warren, to give an overview of the MS2 SD Challenge and Incubator Program with the theme, A Unique Pathway for Teacher Change Makers. Seth, please take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Sharon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Your Highness, for being here today and gracing us with your presence. Thank you, Dr. Mukhtar, for being here and your gracious words. And thank you to all of our trustees and distinguished guests that we have with us today. Welcome, everyone, and Ramadan Mubarak to those observing. I'm delighted to be here today. My name is Seth Warren. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II Sustainable Development Goals Initiative. So happy to be here to welcome you all and to celebrate the accomplishments of Cohort 2 of the MS2 Incubator Program. Our goal really is the advancement and the elevation of teachers. Almost 2 years ago, I had the fortune of meeting Mr. Hakeem Subair, the founder and CEO of 1 Million Teachers. He told me about the conversations that he'd been having and the vision that had been laid out by His Highness Khalifa Mohammed Sanusi II. He told me about a project with the potential to transform education in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly for the girl child. And he told me about His Highness's profound confidence in the power of teachers to transform education by embracing the principles of entrepreneurship. A little background on me. My parents were teachers turned entrepreneurs. They taught me to look at entrepreneurship as a means of making change in the community. And I remember when my parents launched their first venture. It revitalized them. It gave them new drive, a new sense of purpose and agency. And seeing the way that they conducted business showed me how fundamental and how transformative the entrepreneurial mindset can be. It showed me how those with the passion and the right tools, regardless of their background, have an extraordinary power to improve lives. Teachers are some of the most important role models that a society can have, and we can all learn from their example, which is why I was so excited about His Highness's vision to enable educational transformation through widespread community innovation. This vision is based on the belief that those closest to the problem know the problem best, and that teachers have the fundamental tools and skills to be able to bring radical transformation to our education systems. Next slide. In designing the incubator, we asked ourselves two guiding questions. How can we unleash the limitless potential of teachers? And how can we create a grassroots movement of teacher change makers motivated to make change? Now, I've seen firsthand the challenges that teachers face in fully embracing this role of the change maker. Lack of networks, confusing bureaucracy, different language and lexicon. But I've also seen how natural a transition it really is. As such, we focused on building on the core skills of teachers and providing them with technical understanding and the language of organizational leadership, systems transformation, and social enterprise. Next slide. Ultimately, our aim is to empower 10,000 teachers, enable 1,500 innovative pilots, and impact more than 5 million students, potentially many more, through scalable and transformative solutions. Next. But how do we scale? The theory behind our programs is twofold. Scaling wide by offering programming and supports to many, many teachers and seeding thousands of unique ideas, and scaling deep by taking high impact ideas from passionate founders and providing the tools and knowledge and networks they need to create widespread and sustainable change. Next. We do this through a 5-program structure: open e-learning powered by 1 million teachers, pre-incubation, incubation, acceleration, and partnership. And our focus in this second strategy on the bottom half of the screen is on fostering new innovative pilots from teachers who are doing something different and something testable that we can then, through our network, help bring to scale. Our incubator program is our flagship program. It's the first step on this highly supported experimentation and scaling journey. Next. The incubator is ultimately a program, a community, and a launch pad. We offer a lecture series, coaching and one-to-one mentorship, ongoing support, networking, and funding. Participants are supported by dozens of specialized worksheets and templates developed in-house to translate theoretical concepts into practice, a unified learning hub with access to extensive curated collection of open resources, and more funding than ever before. $2,000 in funding for pilot projects with possible follow-on funding up to $10,000, which we'll announce the winners of today. Next. The incubator is divided into 3 distinct phases: crafting your program, implementing your pilot, and building a high-impact organization. And cohort 2 of our incubator program took place over 6 months, from July to December, with January and February reserved for reporting, reflection, and fine-tuning of the go-forward strategy for each organization. Ultimately, our impact to date through our 2 existing cohorts includes, next slide, 60,000 plus cumulative program hours, 2,000 teachers trained directly, plus those trained indirectly via our incubator and accelerator participants, which actually takes our total closer to 5,000 teachers trained. An increasing international presence, with 36% of cohort 2 being from outside Nigeria, and 20 plus countries represented in our various offerings. Collectively, our projects have positively impacted over 30,000 students and counting. Additionally, our cohort members have made significant strides in building partnerships, taking part in fellowships, social entrepreneurship and leadership development programs, and earning awards, recognition, and follow-on funding. Some of the supporting organizations include UNESCO, the World Bank, USAID, the British Council, the French Development Agency, Ashoka, Acumen, Teach for Nigeria, and the Tony Olumelu Foundation. Next slide. Participants in our accelerator program, we're very proud to say, received 10 times more independent funding during their accelerator year than they did in the year prior. And we're just so proud of this record when it comes to fundraising, and we hope cohort 2 can do even better. Next. In September 2022, we had the pleasure of presenting the great work of the MSII SDG initiative and our cohorts at the UN General Assembly's Transforming Education Summit at the kind invitation of Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed. Next slide. It took an enormously dedicated team to deliver on the ambitious vision for the program, and I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge them. Ms. Olusegun Sofowora, Ms. Ike Oyewole, Mr. Anthony Igomwe, Ms. Rizma Butt. And beyond this team, we had a broad complement of volunteers who supported the initiative in various ways. Mr. Victor Willie, Board Secretary, Sahar Gore, Bubane Sorkpor, Caitlin Van Bommel, Dr. Cecilia Adikakalu, Norman Musengamana, Oluwashi Anafuos, Eric Zhang, Nick Knorr, and many more. And all of these people, along with our many, many guest speakers and mentors, truly made the program what it was. I'd also like to especially thank Mr. Hakeem Subair, whose guidance and support have been instrumental in bringing the program to fruition. Excitingly, we also have 2 new team members who recently joined us and who will be leading our incubator and accelerator programs this coming year. We have Ms. Adedoyin Shitu from Ogun State and Ms. Aisha Umar Tofa from Kano State. We're so delighted to add their expertise to our team and to have them take these programs to the next level. Turning our attention back to the challenge itself, this was an intensive program, altogether including 30 sessions plus mentorship meetings. This meant at least 6 to 8 hours of time commitment per week on programming, key assignments, and deliverables. And as participants went through the program, they had the opportunity to build their portfolio through assignments and submissions. These resources were designed to allow participants to gradually build and refine key elements of their offering and identify an approach to sustaining impact long into the future. Our goal was to equip cohort members with the skills they needed to build a concept into a full-fledged nonprofit organization or social enterprise. And I'm extremely proud of the work of both of our cohorts that they put in to do just that. Our portfolio focuses on 3 core themes: foundational skills, novel curricula, and complex populations. and it has taken an extraordinary amount of commitment. I just want to acknowledge everyone who's taken part from both of our cohorts. In this year's incubator, we had 25 distinct projects addressing wide-ranging issues, including disability, displacement, sustainability, access to learning materials, student engagement, girls' health, digital skills, and more. And SDG 5, gender equality, runs throughout our portfolio, with over 50% of projects being explicitly girl-focused and over 80% incorporating gender-responsive practices. I'd like to just take a moment to highlight these 25 amazing change makers. Terrific. I think we'll have them up on the slides here just for a moment. So we have 25 incredible change makers here. Just please join me in the chat or in the Q&A box in congratulating all of them for the incredible work, for their incredible commitment to this program, to their students, to their communities, and to making high quality education accessible for all children, particularly girls across sub-Saharan Africa. Just personally, I want to congratulate you all for completing the program, commend you for the incredible work you've already done to have impact in your communities and countries, both as active teachers and in the initiatives that you've spearheaded over the past 8 months. At the end of the day, we've had to select 10 winning projects. We assessed projects based on 3 key factors: sustainability, scalability, and impact. And over the course of the program, in addition to weekly assignments, participants submitted 3 core documents: their project charter, their pilot retrospective, and their pitch, and they were judged based on these documents and their performance throughout the course of the 6 months. Winners will be offered a place in our accelerator program, along with $10,000 in funding to support the scale up of their pilot projects. I'm so pleased that we get to announce the results today and wish each and every one of our participants best of luck with the future of their projects. We have a unique and incredible group of individuals assembled here, and I'm just so pleased to watch this become a community for you all to share best practices and push each other to new heights. Without further ado, I'll pass it back to you, Shayon, and we'll move to the end of the winners.
Thank you so much, Seth. If there's anything I picked from your discussion or conversation, it is impact. I think the key word or the buzzword for today's conversation or for today's showcase is impact. And with impact, transformation is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to tell you that the moment that we have all been waiting for is finally here. But before we dive into that moment, I want to take a quick stroll back to the chat box. I love the energy. Keep doing what you're doing, everybody on this call. So Abimbola says, thank you all for supporting teachers. Simon says, thank you for empowering teachers, a great step. I'm motivated to support educational change. That's Simon from Kaduna. Then I have Emmanuel here saying, thank you so much, Dr. Mansour, for all the works that you're doing in moving education forward in Africa. Indeed, transformative education begins with teachers. Blessed says, I'm so thrilled to know that I'm not alone in this journey to make a change. Extraordinary comments right there. Ladies and gentlemen, keep it coming. I will be taking a quick stroll to the chat box from time to time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the moment we have been waiting for is finally here, the announcement of the winners. And I will be starting with category 1. Category 1 is the foundational skills category. This category focuses on core learning to learn skills necessary to provide people access to an education system from which follows opportunities to develop careers and engage in lifelong learning. It refers to basic literacy, numeracy, and transferable skills that are the building blocks for a life of learning. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and the winners of this category are, don't worry, the video is coming up shortly. Yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Joseph Obonaya and I am the founder of the Project Sportivate initiative. At Project Sportivate, we have a mission to bridge the drive to learning gap as well as to improve the overall learning outcome of children in low-income communities. Nigeria is currently ranked #1 amongst the country with the most out-of-school children in the world. There is a shocking statistics that 6 out of every 10 child in a classroom is not learning, and that is why we exist. The Project Sportivate initiative is an after-school program intentionally designed to solve the problem of the drive to learn among children in low-income communities through the use of sport. In 2001, when we started, we had no sport kits, but after we won the grant from the MSII SDG challenge and as well the partnership we secured with Agape Life Project, we've been able to impact over 30 direct beneficiaries, which are students that have been in our program who client education enthusiasts. Also, we've secured partnership with a locally based football club. If we must take advantage of 1% of this global market as we've rightly projected, then we must do this with a very strong revenue generation strategy. 1 will be through our purchase and download of our curriculum. 2, we intend to create a YouTube channel. 3, we want to deploy an impact fundraising strategy. And 4, the sale and download of our gamified project. Over the next 5 years, we intend to impact over 100 low-income community children. With the $10,000 grant, we intend to secure a space of our own, expand our program, and reach more children. So we intend to build an AI-powered website. 3, we want to expand our feeding program. And finally, we want to secure the purchase of more equipment and football kit. Thank you for your time in listening to us.
My name is Patricia Oma and I am the founder of Rabni Education Interventions, a social enterprise with innovation around foundational learning and literacy. The I Learn Literacy Project is a 6-week bootcamp designed for children experiencing learning difficulties due to their inability to understand the English language. Research shows that the child's inability to learn can be due to other social, mental, psychological issues aside from how the child is being taught. The most used language of instruction in most schools across the country is English language, leaving most L2 learners at a loss. With my background in literacy, the arts, and efforts of a strong team, we were able to design the I Learn Literacy Project, which has been piloted in 2 countries, Nigeria and Ghana. Our feedback mechanism from the pilots showed an increased classroom participation and retention for the children that underwent the program. Having invested a total of $3,250 to test and pilot the I Learn Literacy Project, an additional funding of $10,000 will allow us to digitize the I Learn Literacy Project. This allows the project will also reduce ₦1,000 to 17,000 naira. Would also help us set up our first literacy center, which allows the children to come to us and reduce our overhead cost of having to meet them at their different communities. Your support will help us become a revenue generating organization, increase our clientele by up to 100%, and gain 3% of the market share. We ask for your support to help us give them the gift of the ability to read and write in English language.
My name is Zenaida Odimegu. I am the founder of the Zenaida Odimegu Foundation. Today, I would love to talk to you about the Eduvate project. Here's a picture of a school in a community that we visited sometime in 2021. There was a school in this community and there were children who were ready to learn, but there was no qualified teacher. We have thousands of such communities which are homes to millions of out-of-school children where qualified teachers are nowhere to be found. So our solution simply brings qualified teachers and takes them to these remote communities, leveraging technology. So how does it work, you may ask? Well, we use TV screens to display our pre-recorded educational content, right? So we recorded the Nigerian curriculum using qualified teachers, and then we put them in USBs. So with these USBs, we transmit our content using television screens with no internet absolutely needed. We have recorded up to 80% average literacy and numeracy performance by our learners from primary 1 to primary 4. We're looking at our revenue and sustainability from partners as well as grants. The MS2 grant is definitely going to help us to deepen our roots as well as spread our reach. We're going to be setting up another center. We're going to be recording more videos. We have a group of amazing team who are committed to the work we do. And we know that with your support, we'll be able to reach many, many more children across the country.
Good day, my name is Alera Thompson. I am the founder and CEO of Blue Suns Academy. I have over a decade experience in girl child education. I've trained over 1,000 girls in tech. Allow me to introduce our Tech Fingers project. Tech Fingers offers digital skills training for girls from low-income communities in Lagos State and Nigeria. Girls' underrepresentation in tech is characterized by many problems, which are lack of access to computers. 70% of the secondary schools in this area cannot boast of a fully equipped computer laboratory. There are no ICT tutors and female role models to encourage young girls in a career path in tech. Also, no online platform where girls can learn from their own pace wherever they are. So as a team, we came together to create an innovative and scalable solution, which is training young girls in secondary schools for free. We give these girls access to female role models, experienced tutors, engage them in ICT competitors and conferences so that they can brainstorm with other students and also network. We understand that there are very few ICT tutors, so we train teachers and bring them on board to train these girls. We equip these schools with computers and also give young girls the opportunity to have a free laptop through collaboration and partnership. For scalability and to bring in more girls into our program, we are developing an e-learning platform where girls, wherever they are in Nigeria, can learn at their own pace. We understand that grants alone cannot be sustainable, and we also have other revenue streams, which are sale of courses, offering educational services, digital skills training, and also have options down to monthly subscription. And this is why we are asking you for $10,000 so that we continue creating this impact to enable us acquire computer and other equipment, further develop our e-learning platform, embark on robust awareness campaign, and also research and development. And this will help us increase the number of girls we are training from 1,300 to 40,000 in year 10, and we can do that.
Okay, I mean, it's great to see all the inspiring ideas that were forwarded or shared in this category. Congratulations to all of the winners. Again, you have so many congratulations in the question and answer box, but one particular congratulations that I want to talk about, or that I will be picking, is congratulations from Mr. Tunji Ralph. It says, hello participants, we are proud of your work. Yeah, that is Big Joe. Okay, congratulations again to the winners of the category 1 foundational skills category. I would, however, like to invite the CEO of the MS2 SDG challenge, Seth, to give his comments on the category, on this category and the winners of this category. Seth, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations to the category winners. I am just so proud of all that you've accomplished over the last 6 months. Joseph, just your boundless energy, your unique approach to combining fun of sport with meaningful numeracy training, just dramatically increasing attendance rates and using engagement as a key mechanism. Patricia, with your powerful story and your motivation, just incredible perseverance to stay in school despite yourself and despite incredibly difficult personal circumstances. You're an inspiration to us and to your students. Zenaida, your ceaseless drive and ambition. As a little anecdote, Zenaida developed over 1,000 videos this past year and then decided they weren't high enough quality, and she started redeveloping them. And I just love that. That's an amazing display of commitment. She's gone to some of the most remote communities without Wi-Fi, without teachers, even, and brought a solution that has immediate impact. And Alero, you are just an amazing innovator, a true coach, a mentor to your fellow cohort members, always offering advice, connections, and invitations to others. And just so proud of having you be featured in Times Square in New York for your incredible work in creating accessible and gender responsive tech training focusing on girls. So thank you all. Delighted to invite you to the Accelerator program.
Thank you so much, Seth. So I want to ask if any of the panelists has any questions or wants to make any comments on the category or this category. Okay, if there are no questions, I'd like to invite. Okay, yes, we have one from Your Highness. Your Highness, please speak.
No, well, not a question. Go through the Q&A. There are a number of people who have yes, and those guys reach out to us, and also those who are asking us how to bridge the gap between out of school children today and where we want to go. And I think it would be nice if we link them up with Seth and Shubomi so that they can take it up from there, including those who want to know how they can join and what it's about. I think they're important questions, but Seth and Shubomi should be able to hand over. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Your Highness. So the admin is going to go right into the question and answer box, respond to all of the questions and impute Seth and Shubomi's email address or contact details in the question and answer box. Okay, I would like to call on Ms. Shari Houston, one of the advisors of the MS2 SDG challenge, for first, if she has any comments and questions for the winners, and also her goodwill message. I am hearing that Ms. Shari Houston will soon be leaving us. So Ms. Shari, could you please turn on your video and unmute your microphone and take the floor?
Thank you so much. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to all the esteemed guests that are here, but the most esteemed guests obviously are all of the teachers that have been in the program. It is so inspiring and so exciting to see what you have done in such a short period of time. Congratulations to everybody, because you have impacted lives from every single project that was started. The winners, very excited to see you move on into an entrepreneurial teacher role. That is who I am. I am a teacher and an entrepreneur, and very excited to have you join that group of people around the world who are making a difference for people in the learning space. So that's all I have to say. I'm excited. I will need to leave at some point in the next little while, and I will catch up on who all the winners are afterwards. But thank you. And I am most humbled by every single teacher that is here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shari, for that message and the goodwill message. So ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the next category. So the next category is the category 2, which is the novel curricula. These are the project ideas with a new perspective towards educating the students on specific areas. Those in this category focus on educating the pupils on areas such as creative arts, basic needs, environmental, agriculture, and more. And the winners are
Greetings, everyone. My name is Maguma Totwales. I'm the CEO of Arua City Food House based in Uganda. At Arua City Food House, we envision a hunger-free Africa. Of course, the problem I realized is that most people don't send their children to school because they don't have enough money to send their children to school. Also, if we can empower them through agriculture, they can make the money that can send their children to school. So the solution we're going to have for this problem is we're going to provide free agricultural extension services to the community members. We're going to provide scholarships to best performing children in the community in order to upgrade their studies. Then we're also going to provide cheap professional agricultural studies. In 2019, we opened our business by making free deliveries without a shopping outlet. But in 2020, we opened up our shopping outlet, and we also purchased our 147-acre farm from a grant we won from the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Then in 2022, currently, we started the Education Through Agriculture project. So far, we have provided support to 1,258 farmers, which has actually seen 43 of students from the families that have gone to school, which we are following timely in order to ensure that they get basic education. Currently, we only serve a market share of $10,000. And our revenue model, one, we're going to make profits in order to support this project. Profits are made from the sale of the food items, the agricultural food items. Then besides that, we're also going to apply for more grants and partnerships. We're here to pitch for $10,000 as a grant. Of course, we're going to use the $10,000 in order to finish up our agricultural institution. Then, of course, out of the $10,000, we're also going to scale up our demonstration farm. Then, besides that, we're also asking for potential partnerships, incubation activities, and entrepreneurial support. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is McDonald Ngwe. I'm a geography teacher at Mponela Secondary School. I'm a founder of Greenstone Project based in Mponela, Malawi. Africa is the region that is most vulnerable to the effects of climate change, according to African Development Bank. Malawi is number 6 poorest country in Africa. 50.7% of Malawians are poor, and that poverty has been accredited to the effects of climate change. But take heart, Green Sound Project is the solution. Our MVP is Greenweb. We enroll students in Green Sound clubs in secondary school. There, we train them in different concepts within environmental management and climate change. They are trained by different professionals and after mastery, deployed to primary school where they train the primary school learners. After that, the change transforms into the community. This improves the quality of education, making it gender responsive, at the same time combating the effects of climate change. Initially, we used to take money from our pockets. Recently, we have had a push by HHMS2. We received $2,000. And that through this, we have a sustainability plan, which is to have 1 acre for soya and 2 acres for groundnuts, including piggery. We are also thinking of selling briquettes and other products once they are produced. Our plan is to reach 230,000 households in Malawi by 2030. But by April 2024, we would like to take our project into 5 secondary schools, 1,500 learners in 25 primary schools. However, we need $10,000 to achieve this.
My name is Gloria Ifeoma Ayogu. I am the founder of Kiddie Press Club. Report states that more than 50% of our children live with low self-esteem and are vulnerable. Most vulnerable populations are more likely to experience barriers to digital access as a result of poverty and limited access to education. However, one can overcome this through positive exposure to the right skills. And this is the reason why I created Kiddie Press Club. Kiddie Press Club is an organization of children journalists, creative writers, and newscasters engaged in the production and dissemination of information. Kiddie Press Club provides improved key digital learning skills and encourages student leadership through creative writing, journalism, and newscasting. Right now, I have 7 schools, 203 students, and 21 volunteer teachers. We now partner with some educational organizations like Go Pangia, Global Comics and Learning, and Kidlings. The $2,000 fund from HHMS2 helped us to assess and sponsor children in rural communities, purchase some equipment, and also to register our club at the Nigerian Corporate Affairs Commission. Our goals are to have about 500 students by the end of 2023 and 50 more teachers. We generate revenue through the sales of our magazines, through sponsors, partnership, and schools registration during our inter-school competitions, and through subscription into our online platforms. We are requesting for funding of $10,000 to enable us to access and sponsor more students, to develop our website, to get equipment for our mobile studio and reporting kits, to develop our online platform, and for data subscriptions. We have an awesome team with great wealth of experiences relevant for the growth of the club. Please support us to make more impact. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing entries. Congratulations to all of the winners. Again, I'd like to again call on Seth Warren, the CEO of the MS2 SDG Challenge, to give his comments on the Category 2 Novel Curricula winners.
Terrific. Congratulations, Novel Curricula category winners. I'm just so proud of all that you've accomplished. Gloria, your courage and your faith. You've faced incredible hurdles this year, and you've had to make difficult choices. And you've had to put your project in some cases above even your job. And you can only do that because of the powerful belief that you have in your idea and in journalism and in the powerful potential to create change beyond your school alone, and potentially for hundreds of thousands of students. Congratulations. McDonald, you're conceptual, you're so creative, you just have an absolutely incredible mind, and you've woven a complex but also strikingly simple model. You've leveraged music to engage students with environmentalism. And it's just a beautiful display of what's possible when you can think laterally. Wallace, you're the consummate entrepreneur and mentor. You're generous in your advice, always willing to share with the cohort. Winner of the Tony Alumalu Award. You've given confidence to so many in the cohort through your support and encouragement that funding's out there, that opportunities are out there, that places are out there that they can tap into. And we're just so lucky to have you in our cohort, and so delighted to invite all three of you into the Accelerator program. Congratulations.
Thank you, Seth. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the final category for today is Category 3. Category 3 is the apologies for this. The screen is okay. Yes, so the final category for today is Category 3, Complex Population. Please forgive me. Let me stop sharing and share my screen again so that we can have an understanding of Category 3. Okay. Great. We're coming back up very shortly. Okay, so Category 3 is complex population. Now, the complex population category involves those whose project focuses on population like the disabled and displaced persons, girls' health and mental health related matters. It involves providing solutions through educational exposure. And the winners are
My name is Olajumoke Hadibisi, and I'm the project lead for the Path Innovation Project. Being a classroom teacher to over 100 students, 85% of whom are girls, it became apparent that these girls skip school on specific days on a monthly basis. After so much questioning and interview, we discovered that the reason is period poverty. And that is the reason why we came about a collection of change makers. We provide educational resources needed to keep the female child in school. During the Path Innovation Project, we were able to organize the Path Innovation Workshop in 5 public secondary schools in underserved community. In 2021, we started by giving free disposable sanitary pads to girls to keep girls in school. And that was when we won a grant cash of $2,000 from the MSII Challenge, which was used to pilot the pad innovation project. To sustain the pad innovation project, we need to apply for more grants so that we can train girls in other communities. Partnership, we have been able to partner with some health practitioners and some teachers who are our representatives in public secondary schools. We have partnered with some mentors also who would provide mentorship opportunity for these young girls. $10,000. We'll be able to train 10,000 girls on the pad innovation skills so that they can remain in school. Also, we'll be able to construct a period bank in at least 5 underserved schools where these girls have access to pad. Also, we intend to provide one-on-one physical mentorship because we understand that these girls do not have access to mentorship. That is the reason why they are victims of teenage pregnancy and early marriages. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mufida Bashir Isiaku, the founder and team leader of RIU Learning Solutions. In Gusau community, capital of Zamfara State, Nigeria, prevalence of insecurity, specifically armed banditry, which has led to closure of schools for almost a year, has given birth to about 10,000 out-of-school children within the ages of 6 to 13. These children are predominantly girls. As a humanitarian care provider, RIU Learning Solutions and team want these girls to attain minimum proficiency level in literacy. We have identified and screened 1,000 children and adolescents between the ages of 6 to 13 who needs to get enrolled into school or return back after a long abstention. Fortunately for us, in 2022, we secured a grant of $2,000 from MSII SDG initiative, and we used such funds to enroll more girls, 80 altogether, representing only 0.8% of our screened population. We have also proposed an English playbook, which will be written in a local language, Hausa specifically. We have also kickstarted our business trainings, both physical and virtual, for girls. We are in communication with Mind and Life Institute to train 200 girls on digital training come May 2023. With your help of an additional grant, all of this vision would become a reality. Thank you.
My name is Oluwabumi Anani, founder and team lead Project Quality Education for All. Just imagine a world where every girl can go to school, complete her education, and eventually grow to contribute meaningfully to the development of a community. Real stories of girls like Hajara and Sidikat, coupled with surveys and conversation with stakeholders, reveal that the primary pain point in Northeast Nigeria is the inability of over 65% of girls to access and complete their education owing to poverty and socio-cultural barriers, thereby resulting in the teeming population of out-of-school children and child mothers. Our solution is embedded in these key levels: a strategic sensitization on the benefits of girl child education, an accelerated literacy and numeracy program, life skills empowerment through soft skills and hard skills acquisition, ongoing mentorship, and of course the training of teachers in partnership with 1 million teachers. Since 2020, Project Quality Education for All has donated over 20 laptops in furtherance of digital learning, has donated learning materials in villages like Bugare, has implemented literacy programs in IDP camps and low-income schools, and in 2022, through HHFS2 funding, Project Quality Education for All has been enabled to impact over 500 out-of-school girls in Dubeli, Dugire, and Namtari village. Our revenue has been sourced from a 10% quarterly contribution of team members, 20% donation from our for-profit organization, 25% donation from partnerships, and 20% donation from individual donors. We need your funding support to sustain, scale, and actualize our growth plan. every child is my child, leaving no one behind. Thank you.
I think you're on mute there, Shayon.
Apologies. Yes, so congratulations again to all the category 3 winners. I will again like to invite the CEO, Seth Warren, to give his comments.
Congratulations, everyone. Amazing work again. It's just been such a joy to watch each and every one of you grow over the last 6 to 8 months. Olajumoke, Adebisi, your strategic mind and your focus on outcomes are so incredible. You just have such a meaningful and scalable solution, and you've gone out of your way to create a highly efficient model, really aiming to support 10,000 students in staying to school with $10,000 additional funding. And it's incredible what you've developed and what you've delivered so far. Oluwabunmi Anani, your student-first mentality, your incredible inclusiveness, your hut-to-hut community engagement and sensitization strategy that's impacted over 500 out-of-school girls so far, and many more to come by changing attitudes in the community. You're just such a believer in the power of partnerships, and you have an amazing power to inspire your fellow cohort members and to refocus us all on why we're really here, which is the students. So thank you. And Mufida, your growth mindset, you really represent this to a T. You've taken the training to heart. You've adapted your offerings dramatically throughout the program. And in doing so, for everyone else's knowledge here, Mufida has been selected for the Vital Voices Fellowship, which is a 10-month program for women entrepreneurs from around the world. So she'll go on to continue that learning journey in the future, and has also received a significant grant from the Mind and Life Institute. So I'm incredibly proud of the growth, impact, and potential that each of you have. Congratulations again. Thank you all, and delighted to invite you to the Accelerator program.
Thank you so much, Seth. Congratulations to all of the winners again. Yes, we're giving you a virtual hand clap. Definitely. You have everything that you need to fly high. The sky is your starting point, going to the world and be unstoppable. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry. I will not be able to go into the chat box to read all of the different comments, but if there's one thing that I want to tell all of you, we see you and your energy has been great, but we have to wrap up in a bit. So moving on to the goodwill messages, I would like to invite Seth again, the CEO of the MSII SDG Challenge, to give the goodwill message.
All right, terrific. Thank you all so much for being here today. To our guests for sharing words of wisdom and encouragement, to His Highness Muhammad Sanusi II for his incredible dedication to education, particularly for the girl child. And I'd also like to acknowledge the generous donors who have made this program possible, including Access Bank with an extraordinarily generous donation, First Bank, Sterling Bank, FBN Capital, Tato Peterson Foundation, and other organizations and individual donors. We're incredibly appreciative for their generosity, for their commitment to education, and particularly for the girl child. I'd also like to thank our trustees and advisory board members whose leadership, guidance, and ambassadorship have enabled us to be here today. This program's been demanding, but in going through it, participants have learned an incredible amount about what it takes to be a social entrepreneur. They've developed a clearer sense of their model and how that creates impact, and they've built evidence that they need to convince other funders to support their initiatives. Ultimately, our aim is to help each project find its own model. We're not here to impose, we're here to unleash. We're here to give participants tools they need to draw out their very best and to deliver more for the children and youth they serve. In the end, we're all here for the same reasons: because we believe education can be better. We believe young people, especially girls, deserve more, and we believe solutions are possible. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Your Highness, for your inspiring words, and thank you to our distinguished trustees and advisors for sharing your wisdom and staying with us to the very end.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So finally, I want to call on His Highness. I just want to ask if you have any closing remarks for us. Over to you, sir.
No, thanks, Sharon. Just to thank everyone. As I said at the beginning, this is a great initiative, and this is a great day for us. And I look forward to seeing the cohort grow from strength to strength and to see more. Again, to thank the donors, to thank the Board of Trustees, to thank the advisors for being with us. Ms. Bola Adeshola had to leave a few minutes ago because she had a meeting. She sends her apologies, but also her goodwill. She was here throughout until about 5 minutes ago. So we'll just leave it at that. I look forward to seeing you at the next event.
Thank you so much, His Highness. Ladies and gentlemen, I asked for 90 minutes of your time. You gave me 93 minutes of your time. Thank you so much. It has been an interesting session so far. So I do want to make an announcement and say that applications for Cohort 3 will be opening later next month. However, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on Facebook at the MSII SDG Challenge. I'll call that again, at the MSII, not the, there's no the behind MSII, just MSII SDG Challenge. And for any inquiries, sponsorships, and partnerships, please send an email to admin@msiisdg.org. Again, it's admin@msiisdg.org. Thank you to all of the Board of Trustees. Thank you to the advisors. Thank you to the management. Thank you to His Highness. Thank you to everybody that made this happen. Thank you to the attendees. Thank you to all the mentors, the speakers, and of course, all of the cohort participants. This will not be happening if not for you. I am delighted, or I'm honored to have been your host, Sheon Koshwedo. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, sir.